Hello and welcome. It's Ubuntu time. On the 21st of April, the new LTS version has been released. It's online now and you can download it. At the moment I'm in the live system. This is the new wallpaper. I like that. It's the Jammy Jellyfish. Now let's install Ubuntu and let's see what we get. Okay, let's choose English. Continue, but I don't want an English keyboard layout. I want a German. Continue. And now we can choose if we want a normal installation or a minimal installation. If you choose the minimal installation, you only get the web browser and some basic utilities and no other software. I will install the normal installation because I want to see what's in there if you choose that. You should not forget to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware because I think you will need it. But you can try without it. Maybe you don't need it and then it's better because this is all proprietary stuff. Now we can choose the installation type. You can erase the disk and install Ubuntu if your hard disk is empty and if you don't want another system or if you want to use the configurations that Ubuntu provides. But you can also do something else here if you want to create a new partition table. For example, if you want to create an extra home partition. There are some advanced features. You can use LVM with the new Ubuntu installation and you also can use ZFS if you want. So for this video I use the first option, erase disk and install Ubuntu. Install now. Now we are asked if we want to write the changes to disk because now the disk you use will be deleted. You will lose all your data. Please be sure that this is the right disk you want to use for Ubuntu 2020-04. My time zone is Berlin. Choose what you use. Now the name, let's say I'm Joe. The computer's name, Joe in the virtual box. And now a password. Type it once again, the password. You can log in automatically. I don't like this. I want to type in my password every time I start my computer, but I understand if you want to log in automatically. Okay, continue. And now the installation begins and we have to wait. So now the installation is complete and we can restart. Please remove the installation medium and then press enter. Yeah, if you forget this, the live system will start again. Here you can see the new Ubuntu logo. It's a more minimal touch than the logos before. Now we can log in. Here is Joe and I can type in my password. And if you like, you can use Xorg as a display server if you have problems with Wayland. Wayland is default here. So let's start. The first you see after the installation is a welcome screen. Here you can connect your online accounts, but it's not much. It's only Ubuntu, Google, Nextcloud and Microsoft. I'll skip that for the moment. Now, if you want, you can send system info to Canonical. If you don't like this, you can check here. No, don't send system info. I'm aware that many users don't like to give some information to Canonical because they don't trust them. I see no problem in that because I think it's only system info. It's no personal information. But if you don't trust Canonical, don't send system info. I will not send any system info now because this is in a virtual box and this wouldn't help improve Ubuntu. Now you can allow applications to determine your geographical location. I don't do that. And now we're ready to go. You can install additional software if you like. Now, I will not do that now because first I want to see what's pre-installed here. So let's check that out. Well, here you see Firefox as a default browser. The problem now is that since Ubuntu 22.04, this is a snap. And there is no other Firefox in the repositories of Ubuntu. They changed that. We have the same problem with Chromium, but Chromium was never default browser for Ubuntu. Now, this is a snap. If you don't like Snap, you have to install Firefox on another way. You can go to Mozilla and download a deb package. This is not a problem, but you have to go outside of your system. And this is not very Linuxy because we are accustomed to get all our software from the repositories. This is not possible now. If you want to use Firefox, you have to use the snap or you have to download it from an external source. This is not so good. But I personally don't have anything against snaps. But a problem we encounter when we use snaps is that they load very slow. Now we can check that with the Firefox here. Let's have a look how long it lasts until it starts. Yes, you see it's working, it's loading, but nothing happens. This is slow. Yeah? And now? Come on. Yes, as you see, this is not very fast. Maybe this is a problem because I installed Ubuntu in a virtual machine. And it's faster if you install it on a hard disk. But it's slow. We haven't to discuss that. It's too slow. And so for me, Firefox as a snap is not ready for prime time. They have to work on that. They have to fix that. As I said, you can install Firefox on many different other ways. For example, you can also install it as a Flatpak. Flatpak is faster than Snap. Let's start it a second time and see what happens then. Well, it's a little bit faster. It's always, with snaps, the first start is very slow and the second start of an application is not so slow. So, okay, I'm not really happy with this, but you can use other browsers also if you don't like that. So now let's see what we have here. Here is Ubuntu software. Let's check out what's in the software store. This is also very slow because the Ubuntu software store is also a snap. So we have to wait and wonder what happens now. Now the software catalog is being downloaded. And here it is. Here is the software store. Now we have one application recommended by Ubuntu and we have the editor's choice. There are some applications that are proprietary here. You see that, for example, GNOME Desktop. Now here you can see what's installed on the system and here you can check if updates are available. Here are some categories: art and design, books and reference, development, and so on. And now I want to see what we get when we look for GIMP. Let's type in GIMP here. And now we see, yes, this is GIMP, GNU Image Manipulation Program. We can install it now, but look at this here. Here you can see the source, and there are different sources for a GIMP. This is the snap store, so GIMP would be a snap, but you can also use the Ubuntu Jammy Universe. This is a deb file, and this is from the Ubuntu repositories. And there are three different snaps here. The latest stable, the latest candidate, and the latest edge. So if you want to install it from the repositories, you click that and you can install that here. On this way, it is not a snap. So let's close it again. And let's go to the settings. Here. What can we do here? Now, there are some backgrounds if you don't like this one, but I personally think this is a good wallpaper here. There are not many wallpapers. There are some flowers and some landscape, and that's all, and the jellyfish here and another jellyfish there. Now let's go to appearance. Well, this is new. You can choose if you want a light or a dark desktop. Here is the dark. I would prefer that. And you also can choose what accent color you like. Here it's orange. If you don't like orange, for example, I would choose blue, but this is not the blue I like. And it doesn't fit very well to the background here. So let's go back to orange because that fits better. We use GNOME 42, and normally in vanilla GNOME there is no possibility to use desktop icons, but you can use an extension. Here it is integrated because Ubuntu makes some changes to the vanilla GNOME desktop, and this is one example. You don't need an extension here because it's included in the Ubuntu desktop. If you know how GNOME 42 looks, you will see that here we have the dock on the left side. In GNOME 42, it would be at the bottom here. For example, if you install Fedora, in Fedora you see vanilla GNOME. You can change the size of the desktop icons is larger. I choose normal again, the position of new icons, and if you don't want to show the personal folder, you can click here. You can auto hide the dock if you open any window. I use Debian with GNOME and I use dash to dock extension, so I also can do that. But here, as I said, you don't have to use any extensions for that. Here you can change the icon size here of the dock. You can see it here. Let's go back to 48. You can show it on your primary display. If you have more displays, you can choose if you want it only to show up on the primary display or on other displays too. You can change the position on screen. If you don't like it on the left side, you can choose to have it here on the bottom. And if you don't extend it to the screen edge, let's do that. This is almost like GNOME 42 looks as default. But let's go back as Ubuntu wants to have it. And there are some other goodies here. For example, if you want to install a printer, here you can add the printer. It's very easy to install the printer drivers here. You just add a printer, look if the printer driver is included here, and if this is the case, it's no problem to install it. It's very fast. Let's go to multitasking. Here you can configure how workspaces work. You can have dynamic workspaces, but you also can have fixed number of workspaces. As I prefer, I always have 4 workspaces. You can choose if you want to have the workspaces on the primary display only or on all displays. Now let's see what applications we have here. This is not much. This is only Libre, text editor, document scanner, and a system monitor, and yes, basic stuff. And here you can see that you use GNOME 42 because the workspaces are horizontal. In GNOME 3, you had it here on the right side in vertical order. Now let's open the software updater here. And let's check if we have any updates here available. It is up to date. Yeah, this is a very fresh ISO I just downloaded, so there is no software available. Let's go to the settings. Here you can choose if you want the automatically check for updates daily, or every 2 days, or weekly, or every 2 weeks, or never, if you don't want to see what updates are available, but I would not recommend that. And here you can choose if you want to download and install the security updates automatically or only display immediately. That means the system shows you, hey, there are updates available, but it doesn't download and install them automatically. I think it's a good idea to install security updates automatically, because there is no risk in doing that. And here you can install additional drivers if you need them, for example, for NVIDIA graphic card or a special Wi-Fi card. Well, I don't need much here because this is a virtual machine, so I don't have to use that. But if you have an NVIDIA card, you can check here if a proprietary driver is available for you, and you can choose to install it. So, what do I think of Ubuntu 22.04? Well, I think it's solid. I know that many people hate Ubuntu because they were doing weird things in the past. For example, this snap version of Firefox, it's not ready for prime time. It's not acceptable that browser starts so slow. Why? But I have to say, I will always have a soft spot for Ubuntu, because Ubuntu was my first Linux distribution. It was my way into the Linux world. Without Ubuntu, maybe I would not use Linux today. Yes, now I use Debian, and before that I used Arch Linux a long time. But without Ubuntu, I would not use Debian today, because it was such a smooth way to get accustomed to Linux. And so I'm very thankful for all times to Ubuntu. You can do what you want, and I can criticize you because there are some, as I said, weird decisions, but I like Ubuntu. And I think this LTS version is solid. Maybe you should wait until the first point release before you use that as a daily driver. It's a good and solid Linux distribution, and it's modern, and it fits all your needs. I hope this was helpful for you. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a like and comment. And don't forget the bell. So, bye-bye. Have a nice day.